Shalom Israel. We are the Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We teach the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indians that we are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And today is our Sabbath service. This is something that we're supposed to conduct every Sabbath day, which is the 7th day. It's a day of rest. And also it's also part of the law for us to take this day, to rest and to be able to recuperate and to be able to do the work at the Most High as we did in the old times. And with that, we will say, I Madium. La Yashala to Israel. La Kodam, which means to rise and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwafka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Nathananawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kawawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawatna, Wala'a, Tabianawa, Barasaya 1, Abab, Awashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahala, Watapara, La'ai Walamyo, Amam. We just said in English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. We will say now the Hakak of the power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Babakasha, Natananawa, Hakak, Larapa, Kalmakala, Kalmadawa, Hakak, Bataha, Hamatazariah, Hakak, Lahakwayam, Amatayam, Irakuba, Amataala, Lagarashan, Bahashem, Yahushai, Tawadaman. In the English, what we just said is, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. We're saying now to bless Israel, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Bahashala, Babayach, Saparia, Barak, Rapa, Magan, Hagan, Bahashem, Yahushai, Tuwada Aman. In the English is Lord, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. We're going to say Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Harayam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ayam, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Waratiza, Aliatan, Ramawat, Wagalkas, Alianawam, Shamarka, Hana'a, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawama, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazaka, Ayah, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayara, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makarai, Yashama, Atanashpaka, Yahweh, Yashama, Tasahaka, Wahabaya, Wahabawaka, Ma'ayata, Wa'id, Iwana. What we just said, now in English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is the shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, even forevermore. We're going to say now Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayam, al damayalaka, al takarash, wa'al, tashakwa, al, kayahana, awabawaka, yamayawan, ra'ash, ay amaka, ya ira yamwa, sawada, wayatha, ya aitazawa, aitasapawanka, amawa, lakawa, wanaka kada, magawya, wala'a, yazaka, shamia sha'ala, aiwada, kaya, na waitazawa, laba, yakarwa, aliyaka, barya, yakarathwa, ahalia, adawam, waya shamayala, wawawa, Wa'aba, Wahagarayam, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimala, Palasha, I'm Yashabaya, Tazawo, Gam Ashawo, Malawa, Aimaham, Yaw Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawa, Selah, Aishalaham, Kamarian, Hasaya, Sara'a, Hayawa, the man, la Adama, la Hadama, Shayatha Hama, Nadawa, Yamawa, Ka'ira, Wazabaka, Wakazaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazala, Manai, Kan Nashyam, Nasayakawa, Alahaya, Asher, Amawa, Nayarash, Lanawa, Atta, Nahawa, Alahaya, Sayatamwa, Galgala, Kakwash, Lapanira, Rawaka, Taratpada, Patma, Basaraika, Abasa, Wapafka, Tabahala, Wahala, Panyaham, Kwalawam, Waya Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Idea, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya Ata, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Aryawan, Arkaha, Aratiza. We just said from the Hebrew, now in English, keep not thou silent, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make it tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, and they that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, and they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They have become as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb. Yea, let their princes be as Zebah and as Eluna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth in wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. What we're going to say now is the Isupk curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and to the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posikomataz, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirits of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words through the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael, Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us. As we speak thy word, cause it to be known by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it. All right. How much I can bring extra when I come in? And you call up. The next one from the people or two water. It's a while. No, so we got what you will do with probably a we switch it after to get the
red one line on the break side.
Yeah, it go work. Yeah. So it can rotate whilst on the live. Oh. Okay. We'll go like this one. Should be enough. We'll pull up one time, right? Alright, first priest.
Bariat ban banyanyam banyashala.
Bariat ban banyamyan banyashala.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai Brakatum.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai Barakatah. Let's put up them coming on the side. So let me try to get you in the Thank Christ. Alright, Shalom Israel again. Today we continue the reading from the book of Genesis, right, chapter 29. So like here from chapter 25. Right, and we'll be continuing from verse 21. Right, where we left off. Right, I think we left off was where Isaac got his wife, Rebecca. Right, so we'll be continuing from verse 21. The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 21. Waya Aithara Yatiza Kakawa La Yahawa La Nakaka Ashathawa Kaya Aikwaraha Hawa Waya Aithara La Wa Yahawa Wathara Rabakwa Ashathawa. Verse 22. Wayatha Rataza Tazawa Habanayam Bakwa Rabba Wata'ama Ama Kan Lama Zaha Anakaya Watalaka Ladarash Atha Yahawa. Verse 23. Waya Ama Yahawa Laha Shanaya Layayam Babathanaka Washanaya Alahayam Mamanaya Mama I Yaka Yapadawa Walama Malama Ya Amataza Warab Ya Ibada Taza Ayara. Verse 24. Wayama La Awa Yamayam Laladath Wahana Tawamam Babatana. Verse 25. Wayataza'a Harasha Wana Adamawana Adama Wanaya Kalawa Kaada Rath Wayakwara wa Shamawa Iwasha Aishawa Verse 25. Wayatazah Harashawana Adama Wanaya Kalawa Kaadarath Sha'ira Wayakwa Ra'awa Aishawa. Verse 26. Wayaka Raya Khan Yataza'a Akayawa Wayadawa Akazath Ba'aikwaba Aishawa Wayakora'a Shamawa Ya'aikwaba Wayatazakwa Ban Shashayam Shanaha Baladath Atham. Verse 27. Waya Kadalwa Hana Irayam Wayahaya Aishawa Ayawa Yada'ai Tazayad Ayawa Ayasha Shadaha Wayakoba Ayash Thumb Yashab Alahayam. Nice reading from verse 21 to 27.
The book of Genesis 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Yeah, verse 27.
Yeah, so like when we check what's going on in Genesis 25 and verse 21, right? So you see how it is work both ways with the Most High. So you being a man of the Most High, right? And now you was something and all to the Most High go work out the way you want and all to say you being a righteous man with the Most High like and all to he will be there for you.
Come on.
But when we check like one of the most biggest things somebody could go in the life, and he did get through, and even like when it like they see something like that or Rebecca was going through, they know that she can't make children, and then after boom, she come and make children, like so even self like she like say she wasn't self a person at the most, and now this come and happen and all. She can say, yeah, but this God is a true and living God we have and all.
That's right. And even showing where I say she was barren, but Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated to him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Right? So, a lot of people like to come with the whole immaculate conception stuff, but did it really say that he had sex with her? If you understand, in words, but it's understood that in order to make a baby, they had to have sex. But then all of a sudden, the Christian could understand this. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Mary just miraculously conceived without sex. That don't make no sense. Alright, so we see here that whole double standard. And it is more than one scripture to already show that. Where, and we looked at the previous one with Sarah and Abraham, which is a good cut to the Christians as well.
We have Samson.
Yeah. Yeah, Samson, the greater Samson. Even that in itself. So all the stories that they like to come with and try to twist and turn, the scriptures clearly showing where the Most High is about doing good. You understand? So we see he entreated the Most High, his wife conceived. And here's the critical thing here. They say, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, she wouldn't know what's going on because it's war inside the belly. And for most women who went through pregnancy, especially when you're having twins, or even a regular pregnancy, it is a hell of a thing to go through that process. It can also be very dangerous. Right? So you're seeing where, she wasn't sure what was going on. She went to the Lord, right? And verse 23 says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So we know that these children, understanding that there is 2 nations, 2 different type of people would come out of this black woman. You understand? Because for sure, they were not white. Right? And we see here, it's 2 different types. should come out of the bowels. And not only that, the saying, the elder shall serve the younger, right? So who was the elder? Esau. Esau is the so-called forefather for the white man or the white race. And the elder, which is Esau, shall serve the younger, who the younger was Jacob, who also became Israel, who became the 12 tribes, or the nation of Israel, with the 12 sons. So we see here, one shall be stronger than the other. And that's a given fact. You see in where we have a people in almost every single aspect where we excel in all these different areas. That so much so that they use us, in this captivity for their bidding, basically. You understand? Whatever they have to do, or whether they our intellectual skills or physical skills, you name it. You understand? We see we are stronger, but because of the curses where we love the Most High, we see where we are constantly at the bottom. Right? Anything else you want to add? So let's continue the reading. The book of Genesis. The book of Genesis, chapter 28. Sorry, 25 and verse 28. Wayahab Yatazakakwa Ata Aishawa Kaya Tazaya Bapayawa Wa Abaka Ahabath Ata Ya Aikwaba, verse 29. Wayazal Ya Aikwaba Nazayad Wayaba'a Aishawa Aishawa Kaya Tazayad Bapahoa Salakia Bapa Yawa Warabahwa Ahabath Ata Ya Aibakwa Ya Aikwaba, verse 29. Wayazad Ya Aibakwa Ya Aikwaba Na Aize Nazayad Wayaba Aishawa Mana Hashada Wahawa Isaiah Ayak, verse 30. Waya Ama Aishawa Allah Ya Aipa Hala Ai Yatana Hala Ai Yatana. So that's Yatana Ya Na'a Mana Adam Hazaha Kaya Ayapa Anakaya Ay Kana Salakiakan Kora'a Shamawa Adawam, verse 31. Waya Ama Makara Kayawam Slakia, Kayawama, Atha, Basarathka, Laya, verse 32. Waya Amma, Aishawa, Anaha, Anakaya, Hawalaka, Lamowath, Walama, Zaha, Laya, Bakar, verse 33. Waya Amma, Yaikwab, Hashabaiha, Laya, Hayawa, Wayashabai, Lawa, Wayamakara, Ata, Bakathara, Bakarathwa, Laya Iquab, La Yaiquab, verse 34. Wa Yaiquab, Nathan, La Iwaha, La Aishawa, La Kham, Wanazayad, Waya Akal, Waya Shaf, Kwam, Waya Laka, Wayabaza, Aishawa, Atha, Abakara. Alright, so reading from Hebrews 28 to 34.
Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage and lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. So we see here now where the both boys are born, Esau and Jacob. If you realize in scripture, Esau is described, not Jacob. And that is really critical because we really see, well, as we know now, Esau is the so-called white man. Alright? But you would only describe something if it's strange. If you understand what I mean. So because Esau was looking different from the other people or from other children, he was described as, as red. As if you look at the so-called white man now, he's not really white. He's more kind of pink, reddish, and especially you always use statement called redneck. You understand? As soon as you put your hands on him, you see the blood right under his skin. Right? And also, even when they get angry or whatever the case, you see off the back, there is change color, basically. But then he's not really white, he's so-called white. He's more of a kind of pinkish, or because of the lack of melanin in his skin. And you read down, it said Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of the venison, right? Or eat of his venison, but Rebecca loved Jacob. Now, a lot of persons might understand or know what is venison, right? Now, venison is basically what they call deer meat, right? Right? It's really meat from a deer. And those who know what a deer is one of those wild, some sort of antelope. But if you really look and you pull up a picture of venison, it really fits the so-called white man. And how they cook it, even to today, when they cook it and they present and say this is venison, the meat in itself is not even cooked properly. Right? So I think maybe we could see, right? But this meat is like what is look like. You understand? It goes on YouTube, right? Might be able to see it properly. I think it's right. Too close. They love that half-cooked meat. Whether they're talking like to call it medium rare and all this kind of that they like to see the blood in that meat. Right? I have many other pictures you can see, but just you can Google it, look at it, type up venison, and you will see that is a typical white man. That is how they operate. But we like our stuff well done, fully well barbecue. You understand? That anything you want to add up, Sasha?
Yeah, when I start to see everything what we see in the scripture say, that's showing you that you should really stay away from the white man because one, you're gonna eat unhealthy. But that's how you know that you see how it is prepare the meat. And after now they say now how cunning he is. So don't think that if you have a beef with the man and thing, I don't think that you and a man have a beef and thing and you're thinking right, this is the way I go straight out with him. He is not going to come down. He's not going to come the way you think he's going to come. He's going to use all different means necessary to come at you. That's right. So everything about him, don't think that he's going to come that way. He's not a person to trust.
It's not so called negotiating with him. I think there was I think Muhammad treaties he made with the North American Indians. Over 350 treaties he made with the so-called native Indians, and he broke every single one. Even to today, when he gave them the so-called reservations, he still come and take away those reservations from the native Indians, all for what? For money and for lust. So that is the kind of person he is. And when you see how he sold his birthright to Jacob, you can really see he didn't care. All he was about his lust, about filling his belly. Because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have died when he came here. I'm pretty sure, but just because he's such a reprobate and a profane man, as the scripture says, as Esau, he just didn't care about what the Most High, about his life and about his inheritance. Because as the firstborn, he was supposed to get the inheritance passed down from the father. You understand? But he didn't care about that. All he was a very selfish person. He still is today. And you can see throughout and right in the scripture from the beginning of it, he was a profane man. Alright?
And that's another thing about it, and I just to show you how too. So even the white man when I come to children, when I come to friend, when I come to whatever it is and all, I just show you the level how low the white man could be. So you going to play yourself with a white man. They come like this, he could kill you anytime, he could sell your own children anytime.
Yeah.
And then too, he don't care about himself and whoever it is towards him and all.
That's right. You can see that he nothing but himself, basically. Right? So verse 33 said, because he wanted that pottage, you understand? He said, Jacob said, well, swear to me this day. And verse 32 said, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit has this birthright to do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him and sold his birthright. So when he sold him his birthright, as we go down later down in the chapters, why would he be surprised? You know, that's the kind of mind he has. He said it, and then still thinking in his mind, nah. You understand what I mean? And we will see later down in the chapters where, you know, even though he sold it, he's still having his mind that, nah, me already give him that. So you can see he was even at that time lying at that point in his mind. So he shouldn't be so grievously vexed later down in the chapter, but we'll get to that very soon. And verse 30, right, verse 34 said, then Jacob gave Esau bread and the pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. And as the scriptures use that word, he despised his birthright. That's a very critical thing to see there. To despise something is to let me see if I can find the proper definition. It's to really hate.
I think like this white man is pure failure.
Pure failure, yeah. You understand? And you can see you can kind of I'm just going to get the meaning of despise. The meaning of despise, to feel contempt or a deep repugnance. You understand? So he felt contempt. You understand? Let's see if I can find. Right, despise and scorn, to consider a person or thing not as worth noticing or taking interest. Despise may be used or feeling ranging from strong dislike to true hatred. Right? And some examples like I despise liars. You understand? So I just show you the kind of disgust he had for his birthright. You understand? Something that, you know, that was supposed to be his inheritance. But the Most High worked it in such a way that Jacob got that birthright. Alright, so let's go on the next piece.
Majum. Next piece.
Makakobal, Ban Banyaniam, Bani Ashala.
Makakabal, Ban Banyamyan, Bani Ashala.
Yoba Shemi Oshebra Kutum.
Yahweh Hashem Yashai Brakata.
That's you exit here. So we're going back to read the Hebrew. The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 1. Wayahaya, Ra'aibar, Barataza, Malabad, Hakwa Iba, Hara'a Shawana, so like Hara'a Shawan, Asher, Hayaha, Bayamaya, Abraham, Wayalaka, Yatazaka Kwa, Allah, Abaya Malak, Malaka, Palashatham, Gararaha, Gararaha, with two, Wayara, Alahaya, so like Alayawa, Yahawa, Waya Amma, Allah, Atharad, so Tharad, Matazarayam, Shakan, Ba'arataza, Asha, Amma, Ahaliyaka, Rustri, Gawama, Gawo, Barataza, Azza Atha, Wa'aha, Yaha, Aimaka, Wa'aba, Rakaka, Kaya, Laka, Walazara Aika, Athan, Atha, Ka, Arataza, Aratazatha, Ala, Wahakwam Taya, Atha, Ashabaiha, Asher, Nashaba, Ataya, La Abraham, Abayaka, with four, Waha, Rabayatha, Ya, Atha, Zaraika, Takawa, Kabaya, Hashemayam, Wanata, Taya, Lazaraika, Atha, Ka, Aratazatha, Allah, Wahata, Barakawa, Bazaraika, Kal, Gawayaya, Rataza, with five, Aikwam, Asher, Shama'ai, Abraham, Bakwalia, Wayasha, Mashama Rafia, Mataza Wafia, Kakwa Wafia, Wata Warafia, with six, Wayasha, Yatazakakwa, Bagara, with 7. Waya Shalawa, and Shaya. Hamakwa Alawafia, Waya Ama, Akafia, Hawa'a, Kaya, Yara'a, La'ama, Ashafia, Paniya, Yahara, Denaya, Anawash, Anashaya, Amakwa, Wam, Al, Rabakwa, Kaya, Tawabaf, Mara'a, Hawa'a. Right, so in English, 26 and 1 to 7.
The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 1. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Most High appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land, which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in the land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Verse 6. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. Verse 7. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife. Lest, said he, the men of the place should, Salapia, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was very fair to look upon.
All right, so we see here now where we continue to verse 1, there was a family land, because the first famine was in the days of Abraham. So just giving that backdrop. And then Isaac went on to Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, which is another African nation. When the Lord told him, not to go down into Egypt, right, but dwell in the place where he tell him. Right, so he says, sojourn in this land. Verse 3 said, sojourn in this land, I will be with thee, and bless thee, unto thee, and unto thy seed, which has been very specific. Christians like to read this and feel well, it's for everybody. I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And this oath was only to Abraham, not the entire world, not to anybody else. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. So a lot of Christians like to jump on our bandwagon and say, right, that means all of a sudden, that means salvation for everybody, which is totally erroneous. Right? This was basically talking of how the nation of Israel, through the righteousness, and essentially the laws, the commandments, and statutes, wherever we are, the earth itself will be blessed. And even when you're looking at where we are today, even that we in this oppressed state. Wherever the children of Israel are, there is something special about not just the place, but the people itself. You understand? When you look at all the South American countries, how wealthy those countries are, you look at Puerto Rico, even Trinidad, the US, you know, we are the salt of the earth. And wherever we touch, you understand, wherever we are, the heathens know that these people are certain kind of people. And if you had them in the grip, you understand, they will be prosperous. And you're seeing how they are prosperous. I think there's a passage scripture where I think it was a Moabite was given advice to one of those kings and say, if these people keep the laws, you understand? So like what is it? The book of Judith, that's right. If these people keep the laws, their God will fight for them. But if not, well, we can take them. Because the heathens, they understand and know that if the Most High is with us, the Most High power will do what He's supposed to do for us. And because we left His laws and His commandments and we have gone on for the ways of the heathen, but we see the results that are right now. You understand? But add anything up, Sasha?
Yeah, and I know that's the covers the see and all. Even in the Old Testament, you're seeing that had men following the Mosai and keeping the Mosai laws. So not only Christ was following the Mosai laws, but they even say Abraham here and all too. So that whole like they say no gain with that the laws are not the laws done away with and all too, because this is Christ's forefather coming down here too. Mm-hmm. So he following the same steps that he forefathers and all.
That's right. And verse 7 says, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, right? And he said, she is my sister. For he feared to say she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And without also just giving a description of how these heathens and the way that they live, you know they were murderous people. And they know they will do almost anything to get what you have. So you know you use our wisdom and say, here, well, if I only say that is my wife, they will bust my throat. But if they say, if I say that I'm a sister, just as now, they will say, here what you see. I'm going to try and treat him good now. You understand? You don't really have a need to so-called kill him, but you can try and treat him nice to get his sister. You understand? So using that tactic, he was able to, to navigate through that difficult time. You understand? And that was a piece of wisdom that he used to try and come out of that sticky situation and knowing the type of heathens that he have around him. You understand? Right. And with that one, so jump to the next piece. Right. So you got this. So try like this. There it is. Stay over there. Push your eyes in. You understand? Okay. Next piece.
Bariat ban mianyam ban yashala.
Bariat ban yam ban yashala.
Yawaba Asham Yawishai Brakathum.
Yahweh Hashem Shabbat. One second. Let Bible come in.
Salaki.
We continue the reading. Book of Genesis. The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 8. Wayahaya, Kaya, Arakaiwa, Lawa, Shema, Hayamyam, Wayasha Koba, Wayasha Kopa, Abayam Laka, Malaka, Malak, Palashafyam, Ba'aida, Hakala, Hakalwan, Wayara, Wahan, Yatazaka Kwa, Matazaka Kwa, Ata, Rabakwa, Ashafua, verse 9. Wayakwara, Abayam Laka, Layatazaka Kwa, Wayama, Aka, Hana, Ashafka, Waya Hawa'a, Wa'ayaka, Amarath, Akathia, Hawa'a, Wayama, Layawa, Yatazakwa, Kaya, Amarathia, Pan, Amawath, Ayaha, verse 10. Wayama, Abayam Laka, Zarath, Za'atha, Aishayaf, Lanawa, Kama'aita, Shakab, Akkad, A'im, Athar, Ashafia, Ashafka, Wahabath, Aliyanyawa, Asham, verse 11. Wayatazawa, Abayam Laka, Atta, Kal, Ha'aim, La'ama, Hanagai, Ba'ayash, Ha'aizaha, Wabashafwa, Mawath, Yawamath, verse 12. Wayazarai, Yatazakakwa, Abarataza, Hahawa, Wayamataza, Bashan, Hahawa, Ma'aha, Sha'ai Rayam, Wayabaraka, Wayabaraka Yawam, Yahweh, Wayagadal, Hayash, Wayalaka, Halawaka, Wagala, Wagaldala, Aida, Kaya, Gadal, Lamad, Ma'ad, verse 14, Wayahaya, Lawa, Makwan, Taza'ana, Wamakon, Bakwa, Wa'aibada, Rabaha, Wayakwan, Awa, Atawa, Pala Shaf Yam. Right, so reading from verse 7 to 14.
Come.
So that's from verse 8.
Come. The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 8. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out and at a window, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety, she is thy wife, and how sayest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might likely have linen with thy wife, lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him.
Yeah. So we see here where, once again, because, Isaac using wisdom of the Most High, he in a strange land, in a strange place with all these heathens. So, he don't know how to, as we say, dance himself among these heathens. Right? So, verse 8, he said, came to pass, when it had been a long time, that Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, which is an African nation, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac sporting with his wife, sporting with Rebekah, his wife. Now, again, you gotta understand that this Bible belongs to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Now, a white man go see this and say, well, like they're playing volleyball. You understand? They're playing tennis. And they see him sporting. Isaac was sporting with his wife. You understand? So they go feel, well, probably playing rugby, playing tag, or whatever white people just want to play. But the point is, this is a black book. And if you don't understand black culture and how we just talk, you will never get to understand, this Bible properly. The officer Hazahab was doing a very good breakdown on the Lashon Kwadash last night, and becomes Officer Hazahab. And, he gave a real good breakdown of, some of the context of how we just speak, about laying hold on a person, laying hold on a woman. As some of these so-called fake groups like this say, to use that for rape and all kind of answers. But we don't want to go into that. But if you understand how we speak, this is a clear indication of how we speak, right? And it's saying that this African watch out the window and realize he's seeing Isaac sporting with his wife. So basically there was, as we would say, they was getting close. You understand? I was rubbing up. If you were to put it in our terms. You understand? And he said, nah, if that your sister, you ain't go be so close and so dandy with your sister. So you know here something wrong here. So he went and talked to him. So he said, verse 9 says, and Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, of a surety, she is thy wife. So whatever that was doing, he said, nah, that can never ever be a sister. So it had to be some kind of kissing, or some people say smooching up or whatever, how they want to put it. But there was having something intimate. So he said, nah, you ain't gonna be that intimate with your sister. Right? And how said thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. So he just basically explained to the king why he said what he said, to preserve his life. So because he knew the environment he was in, he would know the kind of men, these Africans that was around, that these were men that would kill, because our women were extremely beautiful. Even to today, no other race of people come around, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Even to today, they call us exotic. You understand? People living from wherever, they live in all the European countries, to come down right in the Caribbean here. You understand? For our women. All in, wherever we are, whether it's in the US or the Caribbean chain, wherever we are in Europe. You want to add anything up, Sam? Okay?
No, okay. And as the officer bringing out, which is quite right, the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man must understand the importance of who they are according to the scriptures, which is the people that is above all people. And saying above all people that are on the face of the earth, that is in every way, form, or fashion. Because if you look at the scriptures as we went through in Sabbath service, even the incident with Isaac and Rebekah here, this is the same example that took place in Genesis 20 and 11 with Abraham and Sarah. He himself was afraid because of the beauty of the so-called black woman, Native Indian woman, and the Hispanic woman. Because of their beauty, they were afraid for their lives, right? So they were subtle in the response to the rulers at that time, which is actually a lie, right? Which is what they're not supposed to do, but they were afraid, and they did say that they were the sister, which referring more or less to the kindred, but at the same time it was a deception, and the scriptures brought it out. But this is showing the so-called black man the importance, and even in past times, that the so-called black woman was always the most feared or the most beautiful woman on the planet. Also, it's showing that the laws of the Most High were established even from the beginning, from in Genesis. right? Because you can see here that the king said, nah, this can be a sister. You know, when we look at the connection or the relationship, which means there's a different behavior or relationship towards a sister and also towards a wife.
That's
All
right.
right. So it's good to know your culture, your identity, and your laws.
Okay. You know, just to back up what Samaka is saying, you know, it really essential for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come back to your culture. Leave off all these other nations' culture. Leave off Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, atheist. If you want to be an atheist, all that is Christianity. No matter how you put it, no matter how you mix it up, all of it is Christianity. Come out of that Christian mindset. Get into class, into the Isupk under Commander General Yohana, where you'll get to understand and learn who you are as a people. Learn your heritage, learn your language, learn your history, and your customs. So no longer there be black and black crime. There is no longer no enmity, not just among the brothers themselves, but among the tribes. Because all the tribes, have different levels of enmity. You have light skin, dark skin. Are you from here? Are you from America? Are you from the islands? One speaking Spanish, one speaking English. So a lot of petty differences. We had to come out of that. Come back to the lowest commandments that said the Most High, learn brotherhood, learn sisterhood with the son and the master brotherhood, and to be able to bring back this nation together, especially at this time. Alright? And that's what I run back some here through quick. We're seeing where the Most High blessed Isaac, because you see, verse 12 says, then he sowed the land and received the same year 100-fold. And because the Most High was with him, whatever he put his hands to, he was blessed for that. And because of that, and he grew so great, verse 14 says, and the Philistines envied him. You understand? And we're seeing where all these nations, even in our poor estate, they still envy us for the little that we have. You understand? And that is just a testament to how these heathens are, where they continue, just as how Esau is profane, they cannot have enough. And not just not have enough, they can't stand to see us prosper. You understand? It's a threat to them whenever we are prospering. What are they? What do you say? I imagine. Next, please.
Sha ban ban yam yam ban ya shala.
Sha, ban ban yam yam, ban ya shala.
Yahweh Bashim Shai Bakatom.
Yahweh Hashem Yashak.
We're going to continue reading from Genesis chapter 26 and verse 15. Verse 15. Wakal, Habarath, Asher, Kaparwa, Ibadiyah, Abayawa, Bayam, Bayamya, Abraham, Abayawa, Satha, Mawa, Satha Mawam, Palashathiam, Wayama Lawam, Wayama La'awam, Aipa, verse 16. Waya Amma, Abayam Laka, Allah, Yatazak Kwa, Kal, Ma'aima Manawa, Kaya, Aitazamath, Mama Yanwa, Mama Nawa, Mada, Salakia Ma'ad, verse 17. Wayalaka, Mashama, Yatazakakwa, Wayakwan, Salakia Wayakana, Banakal, Gerara, Wayashab, Sham, verse 18. Wayashab, Yatazakakwa, Wayakwa Para, Atha, Ba'arath, Hamayam, Asher, Haparwa, Bamaya, Abraham, Abayawa, Wayasaf, Mawam, Palashath Yam, Akaraya, Mayath, Selaka Mawath, Abraham, Wayakwara, Lahan, Shamawath, Kashamath, Asher, Para, Lahanaya, Abayawa, verse 19. Wayakab Parawa, Ibadiah, Yatazakakwa, Banaka, Wayam Tazarwa, Sham, Ba'ama, Mayam, Kayayam, verse 20. Rayaba, Rabayawam, Rayabawa, Ra'iziyah, Gerara, Ain, Ra'aya, Yatazakakwa, La'ama, Lanawa, Hamayam, Wayakakwa, Wayakwara, Sham, Habara, Aishakwa, Kaya, Hatha Shakwawa, Aimawa, verse 21. Wayakwa, Parawa, Ba'ara, Aquarath, Wayabawa, Gam, Ila Yaha, Wayakwara, Shamaha, Shama, Shatana, Salakia, Shatan. As you're reading from verse 15 to 21 in English.
Genesis chapter 26 and verse 15. For all the well which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham, his father, the Philistines, had stopped them and filled them with earth. Verse 16. And Amalek said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. Verse 17. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. Verse 18. And Isaac digged again the well of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father for the Philistines, and had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. Verse 19. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. Verse 20. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac herdmen, saying, the water is all ours. And he called the name of the well Ezel, Esek, because they strove with him. Verse 21. And they digged another well and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Senat.
No, that's it. So we see once more, every time, Isaac, but first of all, because Isaac became so prosperous, because he became so rich and so wealthy in possession and flocks and servants and everything, you see where the so-called jealousy of the heathen side to come in. So they started trying to find all kind of ways to really find some way to oppress or to find some kind of disagreement. So much so, it got so big that the king said, here, you can't stay here no more. You understand? You're causing a problem. Basically, he became more mighty. So he said, well, here, you got the boss out. So he left and went in the valley of Gerar, right? And he dwelled there. And here they're saying all the wells that his father had digged that they used to use, them Philistines and them get so jealous, them African and them, again, and the nasty, dirty, stinking ways, full up all, right? So he say no sweat, so he going again now, and dig more, and they still had a problem with that. So you're seeing that no matter what we do, they will always try to find some problem. And this also gave me like a recollection of, I think this either was in Nehemiah or Jeremiah when they was about the temple, and the heathens trying to find some way to bring a blockage, to bring some kind of obstacle whenever they see in progress in the nation of Israel. You understand? When we trying to, even to today, let's just say for instance, we had, let's say like the music industry, or any other thing that we put our hands to, but like the music industry is a great example for that point, where our style, our flair, our music, they try to stop it. So much so they started to call it, well, all kind of garbage, whatever they used to call it. They never used to want to promote our music, but that's our stuff. But the minute they see some kind of value out of it, all of a sudden, they're on the bandwagon. Almost similar to these Africans here. They're digging a well all the time, no sweat. As soon as it becomes a spring, all of a sudden it's them own. You understand? Dig a next one, it's them own too. So you're seeing where these heathens try to come with also kind of conniving way to either use or abuse the nation of Israel. But no law. And to that, we say medium. Next, please.
Bariat, Ban Banyanyam, Ban Yashala.
Bariat, Ban Yamyan, Ban Yashala.
Yawaba Sham Yahushai Braka, Thumb.
Yahweh Shem Yahushai Brakatah. Continue reading. The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 22. Where I takwa.
Masham, Wayaka Pora, Ba'ara, Akarath, Wala'a, Rabawa, Aliyah, Wayakwara, Shama, Rakwa, Bawath, Wayama, Kaya, Aitha, Harakwa, Harakwa, Yahawa, Lanawa, Wapara, Yanawa, Ba'arataza, verse 23. Waya'ila, Mashama, it's like a Masham, Ba'ara, Shabba'i, verse 24. Wayara, Alayawa, Yahawa, Balaya Laha, Hahawa, Wayama'ama, Anakaya, Alahaya, Abraham, Abaniyaka, Allah, Tayara, Kaya, Athaka, Anakaya, Wabaraka Kayathyaka, Wayaha Baya Saya, Ata, Zara'aika, Ba'aiba Ba'awa, Abraham, Ba'aidahya, verse 26, Selaka, verse 25, Wayaban, Sham, Mazabaka, Wayakwara, Basham, Yahawa, Wayata, Sham, Ahalawa, Wayakarawa, Sham, Ba'aidaya, Yatazakwa, Ba'ara, Wa'ama, Salakia, Wabaya, Salakia, Wa'abayam Kalaka, Lahaka, Alyakawa, Basham, Yahawa, Wayatha, Magara'a, Wa'akazath, Mara'aiwa, Wapayalaka, Shara, Taza Ba'awa, verse 27. Waya'ama, Alaham, Yatazakakwa, Madawa'ai, Ba'atham, Aliyah, Wa'atham, Shanathma, Salakia, Shanatham, Ataya, Wata, Shalakayawa, Wata, Salakia, Wath, Shalaka, Wanayan, Ma'atha, come, verse 28. Waya'amawa, Ra'awa, Ra'aya Naiwa, Kaya, Yahawa, Aimaka, Wanama'ama, Sahaya, Na'a, Laha, Banayawath, Yanawa, Wabanayaka, Wanakarath, Barathia, so like a Barayath, Imaka. Alright, so reading from 22 to 28. I'm mistaken? Yeah, from 22 to 28.
The book of Genesis 26 and 22. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not, and he called the name of it Rehoboth, and he said, for now the Lord had made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there, and called upon the name of the Most High, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzzath, one of his friends, and Pachol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And when we said, let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee.
Alright, so once again you're seeing where, after striving and striving and striving, finally, he was able to dig a well in a place where it had no confusion. Right? And even today, wherever Israel go, is always some confusion where the heathens, they want to come and claim, whether it's through some law to create, or they want to find some way. Even to today, you see where, we have been slaves here so long, and we were given nothing. East Indians come here, they get land and money. Chinese come in here, they get land and money. Everything fall in the hand so easily. Because why? The so-called white man is their daddy. You understand? Everything coming easy except into the hands of the nation of Israel. You understand? So we see once more Isaac, he struggled, finally get a place, dig as well, no problem. So he start to function. He say, right now, at this point here now, that no more strife, we go start to prosper. And then, lo and behold now, we see in here now where these heathens coming now because they realize things looking up. And every time where the children of Israel prospering, you always see the heathens want to come and make some kind of treaty, some kind of covenant, and it's in our law that we're not supposed to make any kind of covenants with any other nation, with any other people. What are you think?
Yeah, correct. And just building on what you're saying, it's important for the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man to understand the importance of returning to the power or in the importance of serving our God.
That's right.
Because when I look into the scriptures, as I see here, the only time the so-called black man able to have respect of the other nations, of the heathen, is by we returning to our power, or they understanding or realizing that the Most High is with us. So just as we reading here in the scriptures, I can see it, and you'll see this as the Sabbath service continue, even with Moses, when the Israelites were being brought out of the land of Egypt. Is only when they see that our power is with us, that is the only time that they have any type of respect for us. Right. So it is important that the so-called black man return his power by following the laws, the commandments, and the statutes of the Most High, which is going to bring that brotherhood among the nation, and the other nations or the heathens will give us that respect. Anything besides that, we would not get respect of the other races. That is about it.
Count. So we see it also like in verse 27. He said, Isaac said unto them, wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? So Isaac knew that these other nations, these African nations, like your brothers, like your cousin, like your bosom body, like your brethren. You understand that they realized he started to make progress, and they hated him from since before. But you know how, they like to smile, just like today, just like in Trinidad or any other place where the nation of Israel are, these nations only pretend that they like you as much as they could use you. So they will smile in your face, they will do everything else, and behind your back, they have their agenda. And anytime they see any means of progress, all of a sudden they want to be friends with you again. All of a sudden they want to make a covenant. All of a sudden you and them good. They bring in food for you to eat. Diwali come, they're reaching by your house, they bring drop things for you. All kind of problems. Because why? Any way that they could see that they could take something from you or use you, that is only then they will be your friend. You understand? And that is the mindset that they have. That they could take something from you or use you in any kind of way. You know anything?
No, nah.
That we say imagine. Express.
Sha ban yam yam ban ya shala.
Sha ban yam ban shala.
Yahweh Bashim and Shabakatum.
Yahweh Bashim and Shabrakata.
So continuing reading the book of Genesis chapter 26 and verse 29. Amma to Aisha Aymanawa Ra'i Ka Asha La'a Naga'ai Nawaka Waka Ama Waka Asha Aisha Ya Yanawa Aimaka Rakwa Tawab Wanasha Lakaka Bashalana Shalanawa Shalama Salakia Basha La Wama Atha, Isaha, Barawathka, so like a Barawaka, Yahweh, verse 30. Waya Aisha, Laham, Mashath, Waya Akalawa, Waya Shathwa, verse 31. Waya Shah Kayam Moa, Babakwa, Waya Shab Aiwa, Ayasha, Laka, Wayasha Lakam, Yataza Kakwa, Wayala Lakawa, Ma'athwa, Bashalawam, verse 32. Wayahaya, Bayawam, Ahamwa, Wahabaw Ba'awa, Ibadiah, Yatazakakwa, Wayagadawa, Lawa, Ayla, Adawath, Habara, Asher, Kaparwa, Amawa, Lawa, Mataza, Anawa, Mayam, verse 3, Wayakwara, Atha, Shabai, Ayla, Kana, so like a Khan, Sham, Yara, Ba'ara, Shabai, Aida, Hayama, Hazaha, verse 34, Wayahaya, Aishawa, Ban, Arabayam, Shana, Wayakokwa, Ashaha, Atha, Yahawada Dayath, Bath, Baria, Hakafia, Wayatha, Bashamath, Bath, Lana, Hakafia, verse 35, Wathaha, Yayan, Ma'atha, Rawak, La Yataza Kakwa, Wala Bakwaha. Alright, so that compose 29 to 35 in English. Genesis chapter 26 and verse 29. That thou will do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee. So like, 29. Yeah, go ahead. Genesis chapter 26 and verse 29. That thou will do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Most High. Verse 30. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. Verse 31. And they arose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. Verse 32. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water.
Verse 33. And he called it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. Verse 34. And Esau was 40 years old when he took the wife of Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemat, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. Verse 35. Which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah.
Alright, so you see once more, already heathens and they're coming trying to make peace. And you know, just as Officer Makar said earlier on, the only respect that you would get from these heathens is when they know that your power, your God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is with you. You understand? And that is the kind of respect we had to gain from these heathens, that by coming back to the laws, the commandments. Because once they know that these men are a certain type of men, these men do not bow to the things that they would want to probably flaunt before us. These men have morals. These men have standard. These men are not to be so-called messed with. Because why? These men follow the laws and the commandments of the Most High. These are serious men. These are men of the Most High. So once they understand that, they will come very circumspect. They will know how to tread around us. They will know that these men not playing. That you can't come around with no foolery. You can't come around with no garbage to try to come and tempt us with, or try to come with anything that is off or against our laws. You understand? And because the Most High is with us, we'll be able to discern all the tricks and all the kind of folly that they would want to come. So you can't come to us and sell us drugs and guns stuff to destroy our neighborhoods and destroy our families. That ain't going to happen. But because we don't have the laws and the commandments, they could infiltrate us and our communities with these type of stuff. But now under Commander General Yahana, in the ISUPK, we are changing that in our communities. Down here in Trinidad and all over the world. We're going to go in Silas, go in John, go in all these places where our brothers are suffering, where the heathens are infiltrating our communities and causing that so-called black and black crime amongst brothers, which is not supposed to happen. They come, they put the drugs, they put the guns, and we kill each other. But once we come back to the laws and the commandments, all that will cease. Because why? We'll have integrity among ourselves. We'll have that brotherhood. And understand that this is our power, and we must follow these laws and these commandments. So we're seeing, you know, and that's one more thing I want to touch, and that's down in verse 35, where you see, or 34, where you see Esau, you know, took unto him 2 African wives, right? Where you see 2 daughters of a Hittite, of 2 Hittite men, and verse 35 says, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and unto Rebekah. You're not understanding why would that be a grief of mind? Because even back then, we understand that the law, they also kept the laws. You understand? And that was that you're not supposed to marry outside your nation. And again, Esau, being the profane man that he is, he didn't care about that. Just as how he didn't care about his birthright. And he still went, because he knew that would grieve, you know, or that would be a contention against the laws that he was taught in the earlies from his father, and also that was taught to his brother. And he basically say, I don't give a damn, I don't care, I do what I want. And that is the kind of profane attitude he is. He doesn't care. He'll take what he want, do what he want, because he's a lustful man and doesn't care anything about the Most High. Right? And when Isaac and Rebekah heard it, they was like, nah, this man, he out of pocket, if you want to put it like that. Right? And they understood that he did something that was off. Right? And that was, as the scripture said, a grief of mind unto Isaac. Right? And that was basically, you know, what took place at that time. And with that, I bring us to the end of the Sabbath service. It's a medium. Yes, pass me the horn. The horn. Right? So that's what we would do. a special class for some parts or something for his place. Yeah. Take it. So come. You take it and pass the shot. Sash? Yeah. Laya Shala to Israel.
Ah, Shala to Israel.
There you go. Upon your Hakodam, which means to rise and face the east, we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Sa? The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Sabbath Shemaya. Kodash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwafka. Taba'a. Ratazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Ma'arataza. Kawa. Ayah. Bashamaya. Nathan Lanawa. Lakam. Ka. Yawam. Wasalakna. Wasalakna, Kawawatina, Wala'a, Tabianawa, Anasayawan, Ball, Washina, Yan, Rai, Kaya, Aka, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Watafara, Walamia, Aman.
In the English, what we said is, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
What we're going to say now is the Hakak, the power. Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Kusha, Atananawa, Hakak, Arapa, Ataha, Amatazariah, Hakwayam, Mathayam, Hakak, Irakawa, Amata'ala, Garashan, Hashem, Yahushai, Tawada Aman.
In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power, the power to heal, all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to say now is He blessed Israel. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Baraklanawa, Ayashala, Habiyak, Sapariya, Barak, Rapa, Magan, Bahashem, Yahushai, Tawada Aman.
We said in the English, Lord, in the name of Yahushai, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahweh
Name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
It says Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Al-Harayam.
Al-Harayam.
Mahayan.
Mahayan.
Yaba'a.
Yaba'a.
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah. Ma'ayam.
Ma'ayam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Wa'arataza.
Wa'arataza.
Ayatan.
Ayatan.
Amawat.
Amawat.
Ragalka.
Ragalka.
Aliyawan.
Aliyawan.
Shamaka.
Shamaka.
Anna.
Anna.
La'a.
La'a.
Yanawam.
Yawam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yayashan.
Yarashan.
Shawama.
Shamama.
Yasha'ala.
Rasha'al.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Aliyad.
Aliyad.
Yamyanka.
Yamyanka.
Yawama.
Yamama.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
Laha.
La'a.
Yakanka.
Yakanka.
Wayara.
Wayara.
Balayala.
Bayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamaka.
Yashamaka.
Kara.
Kara.
Yashama.
Yashama.
Tanashpaka.
Tanashpaka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashama.
Yashama.
Kazahatka.
Kasahatka.
Wawaka.
Wabaka.
Aithaha.
Maitaka.
Wai.
Wai.
Iwalam.
Iwalam. In the English, I will lift up my eyes
I will lift up my eyes
unto the hills.
unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Most
My
High,
help cometh from the Most High,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He shall not suffer thy foot
He shall not suffer thy foot
to be moved.
to be moved.
He that keepeth
He
Israel,
that keepeth Israel,
Salakia, he that keepeth thee,
he that keepeth thee,
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Most High
The Most High
is thy keeper.
is thy keeper.
The Most High
The Most High
is thy shade
is thy shade
upon thy right hand.
upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Most High
The Most High
shall preserve thee
shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Most High
The Most High
shall preserve thy going
shall
out
preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth,
from this time forth,
even forevermore.
even forevermore. I will say Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayam,
Alahayam,
Al-Damayalaka,
Alemayaka,
Al-Takarash,
Aitakarash,
Wa Al-Tashakwaf,
Waatakarash,
Kayahana,
Kayana,
Awayabaka,
Ayawaka,
Yahama Yawan,
Bahayawan,
Ra'ash,
Rash,
Al-Amaka,
Ayamalaka,
Ya'ay Yawan,
Ayayo,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Wayata,
Ya'aitazawa,
Aitazawa,
Al-Tasapawanka,
Aitazawanka,
Ahama,
Ahama,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakadiawa,
Wanakadiawa,
Wanakakadam,
Wakakadam,
Magawia,
Magawia,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazaka,
Yazaka,
Shamia Sha'ala,
Shaya Sha'ala,
Aiwada,
Aiwada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawatazaiwa,
Nadazawaya,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakarwa,
Yakarwa,
Al-Yaka,
Ayaka,
Bariyat,
Bariyat,
Yakarathwa,
Wakan, Wawat,
Ahalia,
Anahadia,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashamai,
Wanashamai,
Alayam,
Alayam,
Mawa'aba,
Mahaba,
Wagarahayam,
Wagarayam,
Gabal,
Kabal,
Wa'aimawan,
Mahayawan,
Wa'aimalak,
Mahayala,
Palasha,
Alasha,
Aim Yashabaya,
Aimashaya,
Tazawo,
Tazawo,
Gam Ashawo,
Ram Ashawo,
Alawa,
Alawa,
Aima,
Aima,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarawai,
Zarawai,
Labanya Lawa,
Labanya Lawa,
Salah,
Salah,
Aishaha Laham,
Aishalayaham,
Kamadian,
Kamadian,
Kasaya Sarah,
Kasaya Sarah,
Kayabian,
Kayabian,
Banakal,
Banakal,
Kwayashwan,
Kawashian,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa,
Bayan Daira,
Bayan Naira,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'amadma,
Amadma,
Shayathamoa,
Sharimatwa,
Nadayab,
Nadania,
Mawa,
Mawa,
Kairab,
Kaira,
Wakazaba,
Wakazaba,
Wakazabak,
Wakazabaka,
Wakaltazal,
Wakalazar,
Manai,
Manai,
Kal Nasayawanka,
Nasawanka,
Kal Nasaya Kamwa, Nasaya Kamwa,
Nasaka, Kamwa,
Asher,
Asher,
Amawa,
Amawa,
Nayarash,
Nayarash,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Atha,
Atha,
Nawa,
Nawat,
Alahaya,
Alahaya, Alahaya,
Shayathama,
Yat Mawat,
Shayath Yamwa,
Nawamwa,
Galgala,
Galgala,
Kakwash,
Akwash,
Lapania Rawaka,
Panyamarapa,
Kaash,
Kaash,
Tharabaira,
Tabaira,
Yaira,
Yaira,
Wa Kalaba,
Wakalaba,
Talahat,
Talaha,
Hariyam,
Hariyam,
Khan,
Kan,
Tharat Pama,
Taratpama,
Masaraika,
Basaraika,
Abasa Wapakath,
Wabasa Kabarat,
Wabasa Wapafka,
Wabasa Kabarat,
Sabahalam, Mala'a,
Mala'a,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kwalawan, Waya Bashwa,
Wabashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Yabashwa,
Bashwa,
Waya Bahalwa,
Yamahalwa,
Idea,
Idea,
Waya Kaparwa,
Wayabakawa,
Waya Abadwa,
Wayabadwa,
Waya Daiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kaya Atha,
Kayatra,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Ayawa,
Ayawa,
Al Kahal,
Alkal,
Arataza.
Arataza. In the English, keep not thou silence,
Keep not thy silence,
O Most High,
O Most High.
hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace,
and be not still,
and be not still,
Salaki, and be not still, Most High,
and be not still, Most High.
for lo,
Thine
enemies,
enemies,
make it to mud,
make it to mud,
and they that hate thee,
and they that hate thee,
have lifted up their head,
have lifted up the head.
they have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people,
and consulted
consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come, let us cut them off
let us cut them off
from being a
from
nation,
being a nation,
that the name of Israel
that the name of Israel
may be no more in
may
remembrance.
be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted
They have consulted
together
together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against thee,
the tabernacles of Edom,
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gibal,
Yabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre,
the inhabitants of Tyre,
Asher,
Asher,
also is joined with them,
also is joined with them.
that they have holpen the children of Lot.
They have fallen the children of Lot.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the Midianites,
as to Syria,
as to Syria,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
and the brook of Kison,
which perished
which perished
at Endor.
at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
Became as dung for the earth.
Make thy nobles like Orab,
Make thy nobles like Oreb,
and like Zeb,
as Yeh,
yea,
yea,
all their princes as Zebah,
all their princes as Zebah,
and as Salakia, Zalmunna,
as Zalmunna,
who said, Let us
let us
take to ourselves
take to ourselves
the houses of the Most High in possession.
the house of the Most High in possession.
O my power,
O my power,
make them like a weed,
make them like a weed,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth a wood,
as the fire burneth a wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Most High,
O Most High,
let them be confused
let them be confused
and troubled forever.
and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
and let them be put to shame and perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the Most High over all the earth.
art the Most High over all the earth.
Yeah, it's a place. These are the Isupk curses. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai. Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen. That speak against us.
Speak against
thy
us.
prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and
To the
destruction.
heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake
The
loose.
treasure of the rich of Israel.
Treasure of the rich of Israel. I refuse to give this.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
Enter into thy sanctuary.
Enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and
To the
destruction.
Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
Court system.
The prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the government of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic
The
Church.
Pope.
The Pope.
Islam. Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posikomatazzi.
Posikomatazzi.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Navy.
Navy. Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
The cable access channels.
Cable access channels.
And the radio channels.
And the radio channels.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
Seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
And bring swift
To
destruction.
all the heathen.
All the
That
heathen.
stand in the way.
Stand in the
Or
way.
try to stop us.
Try to stop
From
us.
broadcasting your words.
Broadcasting your words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth. And consume them.
Consume them.
Let the plagues.
Let the plagues.
Shake the house of the thief.
Shake the house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahweh Shai.
Let Yahweh Shai.
Michael.
Michael.
And Gabriel.
And Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathen.
Punish all the heathen.
That come up against us.
Come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That is the angels.
That is the angels.
That have done it.
Have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Through the whole
Through the
world.
whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy
Cause them
coming.
to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. Sir? Men of Israel, let's give the brothers one courtesy salute. I imagine Shabbat, I imagine Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai Barakatah. Let's give the sisters online a courtesy salute. I imagine Shabbat, I imagine Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. Yani Mata, class dismissed.